Ready? Hi guys, I'm Timothy Starling and I am with Group Chapter 14, the Physical Disability Impairments in the Classroom. I'm doing my presentation over that. And I have a buddy here. He was actually born with a birth defect. His name is Carson. The birth defect was amniotic band syndrome, and he's just going to give us a overview about how it's affected his life and inside and outside of the classroom. I just have a set of questions I'm going to ask him, and he's going to provide any additional information he needs. But here he is. He's going to explain to you the syndrome he was born with.
So what amniotic band syndrome is, it's when part of the tissue from the uterus wall becomes loose and floats around, and it wrapped around my limbs, my hand and my leg, but it wrapped around my limbs and pretty much stopped the growth from happening. And I guess when I was in the womb, you couldn't really tell, there was no signs that anything was going wrong, I guess. But yeah, it can happen to your arm.
You want to show him your hand?
Oh yeah.
So he has so one hand is normal and has all 5 fingers, and the other hand has 4, and you're missing the
right index finger.
The right index finger. Okay. So, and I mean, he was born left-handed.
Left-handed.
I guess you could say.
So forced
to be born left-handed. So he really didn't have a choice in what hand he could write with. Do you ever use your right hand to?
Sometimes.
Or
There's been a time back in the day in school I broke my wrist in my left hand. I had to use my right hand to take notes.
Was that hard?
It was difficult.
Right.
It was tough to grab a pencil.
Right. So, your limitations in the classroom, I guess, by what we mean by that is just, was there stuff that you weren't able to do?
Sometimes. Art classes when they have the tall shelves. Being in a wheelchair, days I was in a wheelchair.
Right.
It was tough to reach top shelf stuff.
Did you find that more at the middle school level or the high school level?
Middle school level.
Middle school.
Middle school.
Because I know we were talking before the video, and you said that your middle school didn't have an elevator.
No,
they had a lift.
They actually had a lift, and
so
it wasn't very fast. I had to actually leave class early just
right.
to use it to get to the next class.
And for the procedures of a fire drill, for that lift, sometimes you'd be on the 3rd or even 4th floor, and you'd have to get to the bottom and get outside. So
right.
Sometimes you were even saying that sometimes your teachers didn't even go through that whole procedure with you. They just stayed in the room with you while the fire drill was going off, just because they didn't
want to have to go through the whole thing.
Right. And then I guess you could. How often did you use your wheelchair?
It just depended. If I was playing sports, I would use it more often just because I was sore. But
right.
It just depended on how the day before, if I was up on my leg or a lot.
So I guess what you could really say is once you got to high school, they had an elevator.
Right. More stuff is more accessible.
Right. I totally understand. And then you typed all your own papers.
Yep.
Did you type with that hand as well?
Yep.
Okay.
I was a little bit slower, but it wasn't super noticeable.
So I guess, how did your teachers react to your disability? Were they patient? Did some of them pull you aside and ask you what they could do that would better your situation, or just kind of describe something for us?
Some teachers, there was teachers that would, try to accommodate me for everything.
Right.
There was some stuff that I needed, but some stuff I didn't. For instance, I needed to sometimes leave class early, and they knew that, and I had needed someone to carry my books because I was pushing my chair. So they'd let me take somebody to help carry my books and stuff.
Right. And not only does Carson have the hand defect, he also only has one leg. Do you want to stand up real quick? So, yeah, just kind of go over here. And I'll move the camera. So here is the leg. As you can tell, is a prosthetic leg. He's had it since sophomore year of high school.
This one, yeah.
This one,
yeah.
He said they're pretty expensive, so he said that leg was right around $20,000, which a doctor donated to him. So that helped him out for sports, and he is very athletic.
It was a much better upgrade than I wasn't. I used to have to use an old like wooden leg.
Right. Wooden.
This one has a little more. Like, it gives a little more.
Right. A little what's the word I'm looking for? A little more sturdy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
A little sturdier, if that's a word. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is gonna wrap it up. I just thought that you guys should see somebody with a physical impairment defect and still do well in life. You know, he played college wheelchair basketball. He played high school baseball, middle school basketball, everything you could think of. He's actually starting. What was that? Hockey? What was the term?
Sled hockey.
Sled hockey this season. So I mean, don't ever let anybody tell you that people can't do anything, because he's twice as active as I am. So, and I have all my limbs. But so yeah, this will wrap it up. Thanks guys for listening. Thanks again, Carson.
No problem at all.
Bye.
Bye.